Okay guys, you're in a nutshell with me, Ina. Bago po natin puntahan yung diskusyon tungkol dito sa Parents and Grandparents Sponsorship Program na hininto po ng IRCC. It's been paused. Okay, ni-report po to, I think 2 days ago. It's been all over the news. Pero sa totoo, nagtataka ako bakit po ito binalita. Because it was already reported 6 months ago. We also had a discussion on it here wherein I was with Attorney Lou, immigration lawyer Lou Dangzalan. Pinag-usapan po namin na wala nang tatanggapin for processing ng mga applications for parents and grandparents sponsorship. So bakit kaya biglang may ganitong press release na parang inuulit lang naman yung alam na natin? Anyway, sige, mamaya na yung discussion na yan, as well as the statement of the Ontario Immigration Minister. Okay, meron siyang ni-raise na concerns about the parents and grandparents who come here through that program potentially strain Canada's healthcare system. This is not a new issue raised tungkol dito sa PGP program na yan. Anyway, sige, puntahan nga muna natin to. I just need to update you guys. Yung compensation fund na iniutos ng gobyerno ng Canada sa CICC. Yung CICC po, yung College of Immigration and Citizenship Consultants. A while back, sabi ng Canada dito sa CICC, gumawa kayo ng pondong yan. Okay, pondong yan, natutulong sa mga biktima, na mga miyembro ninyo na nagbigay ng maling advice. Okay, napahamak ang kanilang mga kliyente. We talked about this before. I just wanted to remind everybody that pwede na po i-access ang compensation fund na ito effective July 15. Okay, so if you go to the website of CICC, I highly suggest that you do so. Ayan o, nakasulat po dito, starting July 15, 2026, papayagan na raw po ng CICC ang eligible individuals, okay, to access compensation if they have proven financial loss due to a licensed consultant's dishonest actions. Hindi lang naman po to simpleng pupunta ka sa CICC, sasabihin mo na, biktima ako, binayaran ko to ng pera, walang nangyari sa application ko, niloko ko. Hindi. Kailangan patunayan mo yan. Okay, so there is a process for it. Please go to CICC's website to find out ano po yung kailangan ninyong gawin. Okay, so ano yung tinuturing na dishonest acts? Theft, fraud, misappropriation of funds, misrepresentation or counseling misrepresentation, nagbigay ng maling advice, knowingly failing to report a claim or cooperate with professional liability insurance. Tapos, sino ang eligible to make a claim? Okay? Yung mga taong gumamit ng consultant na licensed ng CICC. Okay. So, issue pa rin guys, kung kayo ay nabiktima ng isang tao na wala namang lisensya, nakuhaan din kayo ng malaking halagang pera. Parang gray area yan kasi hindi po sila under ng CICC. Anyway, so this is only for victims of licensed consultants. And then, kailangan mag-file ka ng complaint, ayan, sa complaint process ng CICC. Tapos, may criteria. Okay? Kailangan mapatunayan mong ikaw ay nag-suffer ng financial loss because of the dishonest act. Kailangan nangyari yung inyong transaksyon on or after November 23, 2021. Okay? Tapos may note rin po dito, bago po mag-file ng complaint, as much as possible daw, try to resolve the issues with the licensee directly. I guess hihingi sila ng patunay na sinubukan mong habulin. Okay, si licensee, kinausap mo siya diretso. Okay, if that fails, then you go to CICC. And also, ayan, may maximum payout for every successful claim, $7,000. O basta yan na, puntahan po ninyo yung CICC website. Again, accessible na po siya para sa mga biktima ng dishonest consultants. Puntahan na po natin itong sa parents and grandparents. A few days ago, IRCC posted this update on its social media accounts. Okay, nakasulat po yan. Halimbawa, update daw regarding the PGP, yung Parents Grandparents Program. To ensure the proper management and viability of the Canadian immigration system, we are suspending the receipt of new applications under the PGP until further notice. Nakasulat dito, we will continue to process existing PGP applications and aim to welcome up to 15,000 new PRs in this category sa taong 2026 in accordance with the 2026 to 2028 Immigration Levels Plan. Puntahan na nga lang natin guys, no, yung mismong press release. Ayan, ito po pala. Okay? Sabi dito, this approach will help reduce processing times and improve predictability for families. Family reunification remains an important pillar of Canada's immigration system. Kaya naman, nire-remind nila, yung parents and grandparents, pwede pa rin naman makapunta ng Canada to visit their children and grandchildren through the Super Visa, which allows them to visit children and grandchildren for 5 years at a time and provides multiple entries to Canada for up to 10 years. Okay, so may super visa naman daw. So those affected by this, no, hindi nyo pa ma-sponsor ang inyong parents, get them super visa. Ngayon, ang issue ko dito, bago ba talaga ito? Kasi guys, tignan nyo. This is from the start of the year. Attorney Lu and I had this episode. Tignan niyo yung title sa baba. No new PR applications to be processed for parents and grandparents in 2026. At saka malamang, nilabas ko po yung episode na yan kasi nakita ko nang nire-report ng iba. Diba? Binalikan ko nga yung episode and I saw na ito po yung naging basehan ng aming discussion. This is regulation posted on the Canada Gazette nung December 27, 2025 pa. At nag-take effect nga ng January 1. Ito po, these instructions take effect on January 1, 2026. Ano po yung nakasabi dito? These instructions are intended to ensure that as of January 1, 2026, no new permanent resident visa applications made by parents or grandparents of a sponsor and no sponsorship applications made in relation to those applications are received for processing until further instructions are issued. Ang sinabi dito, ipagpapatuloy lang daw i-process yung mga natanggap nung 2025. So I don't really know what is new. Ano ba ito? Baka yung IRC sinasabi lang na, oy, ginagawa namin to, nagiging ano kami ngayon, conscious sa management ng aming files. Kasi yun ang sabi nila, di ba? We're taking steps to be responsible. Anyway, sige, hayaan na natin kung sila ay nag-ulit ng kanilang announcement. Ang gusto ko pong i-share din sa inyo ay yung naging reaksyon ng marami nung ibinalita po ito a few days ago. I can't help but notice, ang daming mga nagsasabi on social media na, bakit pa i-pause? Tanggalin na lang daw. Okay, tapusin na raw itong PGP program. Sa akin naman, I see the value of sponsoring parents and grandparents. I see value in their contributions at home. Alam ko sinasabi, hindi na nga nakakapagtrabaho marami sa kanila kasi nga medyo nakakatanda na, nasa bahay na lang sila. But that is exactly their value. I don't think this program naman is meant to be an economic program. It's a family reunification program. Something that is valued here in Canada. Pero to me, meron din silang indirect economic contribution because of the presence of parents and grandparents. Here, childcare costs, for example, ang laki ng natitipid na mga pamilya dyan. Specifically for those, yung mga nag-decide na manatili nilang sa bahay, for example, si mommy o yung isa, si daddy, para mag-alaga ng bata. Kasi ganun din kung magkatrabaho sila pareho sa labas, ang laking bulto ng sweldo nung isa mapupunta na lang dun sa childcare. So with a parent or grandparent present, makakasave on daycare costs. And then, madadagdagan pa yung income kasi makakapagtrabaho na sila pareho ngayon sa labas. And then, of course, there are other indirect benefits of having somebody, an extra body in the home to fix your home, to maintain your household, which is also a very important thing for workers. No? It helps keep you sane. Meron po akong nakitang article from Canada.ca. This is a report to Parliament about super visas. Meron pong data dito sa kung ano bang benepisyo ng pagkakaroon ng parents and grandparents dito po sa Canada. And most of them po talaga contributions sa household. No? Ito daw yung household contributions of sponsored parents and grandparents. 85% tumutulong sa meal preparation, 79% sa childcare, 69% home cleaning, 67% garden care, 66% laundry, clothing care, 56% other errands. Sabi po dito, no, many studies highlight yung maraming contribution ng immigration parents and grandparents sa ekonomiya ng household by providing help with housework, childcare, cooking, thus freeing up time and resources for working-age family members to seek employment, more work, or to further their education for better economic outcomes. Okay, their findings emphasize that the support given by immigrant parents and grandparents benefit in particular immigrant women who traditionally take on domestic and childcare duties and who may face the greatest challenges in meeting the income requirement due to lower pay and lower employment incidence. So again, meron naman pong indirect economic benefit. But then, alam ko na ang nasa isip ng marami. How about yung strain na sinasabi, ng elderly people na sinasponsor, okay, strain sa healthcare system. Yan po ang concern raised by the Ontario Minister sa kanyang X account. Okay. Ito po yung reaction niya dun sa press release ng IRCC. Sabi po niya, this is an important step, yung pag-pause daw ng PGP program. The reality today is that provinces are unable to accurately capture the true impact programs like these have on our healthcare system and its infrastructure. On a system already under strain, one must think carefully about a program that once PR is given, immediately makes one eligible for universal health coverage. Furthermore, what is not mentioned here is the super visa, sabi. While this visa requires medical insurance, it also has an impact on the system when used as one ultimately occupies physical space. So, ang sinasabi ni David Piccini, yung immigration minister ng probinsya ng Ontario, kahit yung super visa nagre-require ng health insurance, no? Para sa mga bibigyan ng super visa. They still take up space physically in our hospitals if we allow them here. Yan ang sinasabi niya. Pero yung mas concern niya, is yung PGP program and how those who come in through this program affects the already overwhelmed healthcare system here in Canada. Hindi ko naman po dinideny. May punto rin po siya dyan. So I can't help but wonder how this issue will be balanced by Canada. Family reunification and the needs of the healthcare system. Hindi po nag-iisa si David Piccini, sa sentimentong yan. Nakita ko rin po, for example, I saw this comment also. Sabi, I don't understand how we have a healthcare crisis, yet laying off nurses due to budgets, but bringing older folks into the country with no money going into these systems. Aging populations will always need more healthcare. We can't sustain adding more to the system. It's a valid point. Narinig ko na rin po tong issue na yan. May problema na yun sa healthcare system. And now there are reports na binabawasan pa yung budget for healthcare staff, for nurses. So bakit nga naman ganun? You're gonna be taking in people who likely will need healthcare, and yet you are slashing the budget of a healthcare system that needs more of it. Baliktad yung flow ng budget. Dapat papasok, hindi palabas. Diba? Anyway, another comment. No? Sabi dito, don't pause it, end it. Our healthcare system is simply stretched too thin and Canadian citizens are being severely impacted. Tayo lang naman po dito. We will wait and see what the policy is going to be. And also, nakalimutan kong bagitin, hindi rin naman po pala lahat ng, syempre, parents or grandparents ay walang ambag sa ekonomiya, no? Some of them bring their retirement savings here and use it here. Okay, some also work, di ba? Anyway, let me know what you guys think, no? I'd love to hear your inputs about this. I'll end this episode here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!